My next review is of the 1983 movie Christine, based on a Stephen King novel. The basic story is there's this young nerdy guy who's bullied at school, can't get a woman, but he's got a cool jock buddy, and one day while they're on their way home they see this car, Christine, that's sitting in a field rotting, and for some reason the nerd wants to stop and see it because he feels an immediate attraction to it. His buddy doesn't get it, he sees a POS and he wants to keep going, but he stops and they talk to the owner, and they find out that he's not in fact the owner, but he's the brother of the previous owner who is now dead. And he says, listen, I'll sell you the car because you seem to have the same attraction to it, the same love of it that my brother did, so I'll sell it to you. So the nerd buys it, and it becomes an obsession. It becomes more important to him to get the car fixed up and on the road than anything else. He stops spending time with his buddies, he drops out of school, he gets the hot girl, but then doesn't seem to care too much about her. Everything revolves around getting this car fixed. Even when his buddy is seriously injured in a football accident during a game, he doesn't spend much time coming to visit him. And the guy was a good friend, actually, and always, stood by him and fought against the bullies with him. But he doesn't really seem to care about that anymore. And as the thing goes on, we find out that the car has a past. Anybody that gets between her and the owner dies. So anybody that does anything to harm the owner dies. So when the bullies come and trash the car regenerates itself, an ability that it has as long as its owner is alive and it's loved. So what happens is the car starts killing people that mess with this kid, and the cops, of course, think that he's the one that's doing it. You know, I thought it was a pretty good movie overall. I thought it took off a little slowly. I think they could have covered the he's a bullied nerd thing a little quicker, but it was a cool premise, and there were some cool cars in it, and I guess the other thing that I didn't like was the fact that they didn't really explain how the car had this ability. It just, you kind of had to accept that it did. Funny thing about this car, a personal connection for me, it reminded me of something that I forgot a long time ago, which is back when I was in high school in the 80s, my school used to do this thing where every other Friday they would offer 2 movies that you could come and watch for $2. And there was this one week where Amityville Horror and Christine were offered, so we went to see it, and at the end of the movie, these 2 guys got into a fist fight over whether or not the car was actually killing people or it was the ghost of the previous owner. But in the movie, you see clearly at the beginning that the car kills somebody when it's coming off the assembly line. I don't know, maybe the one guy didn't see that. Maybe he showed up late, but the car came off the assembly line and killed somebody before it was actually owned by anybody. Would have been cool if there was a bit of a backstory or an attempt to find out why this car had this ability. That didn't happen. Like I said, the basic story is about not letting material possessions mean more to you than love and friends and family and all that sort of stuff. It was good. It was a little slow to take off. I think I said that already, but it was a little slow to take off, and I wish there had been a little bit more of an explanation as to how the car had this ability, but it doesn't really ruin the enjoyment. When I watched this a few weeks ago, I thought I would give it a 6 out of 10, but having had time to think about it and reconsider, I think that's way too low, because it really is a fun movie. Everybody likes cool cars and chase scenes, and I think I would give it a 7.2 out of 10. Anyways, thanks very much for watching.